Hello and welcome to part 8 of the mod making series for the mod Locked Loot Containers. I actually started recording about an hour, I think an hour earlier than yesterday that I recorded, so that's good, I guess. I wanted to record even earlier, but I didn't, obviously, but making progress. So what I plan on doing today is actually using the Unity editor for once finally, and basically to actually test what we've done so far. At the very least, test the texture replacement thing that we just did in the last episode, and sort of see what happens. Uh, Probably also test to see if the action object thing. I hope it does, but I'm not getting my hopes up too much there. But yeah, I guess not too much else to say besides that. I am going to be doing the music thing again, even though this time since I'm going to be in game, yeah. But I'm going to have the music on anyway. As I said, it's for mostly my enjoyment and potentially yours as well. The first song for tonight is from Toho, and it's called Night of Nights. It's probably a little bit too, metally, hardcore metally, for this one, but hey, here it is. There we go. Alright, so let's first go into the Unity editor. And as you can see, I have it set up in I have it set up in not a good way, my Unity editor. But you know, it works. As Todd Howard would say, it just works. I got the hierarchy here, which has like the scene objects and stuff, which in this case is the Daggerfall Unity startup, which while it is selected, then when I press play, it'll do the startup launch sequence or whatever for DFU. And I have in the other folder the texture that I added. When I launched Unity, it automatically added the extra metadata. However, it didn't do it to the way that I want it to, obviously, because I need to specify certain things so it doesn't look all blurry. So we're going to do that real quick, just for demonstration purposes. So where our texture is, we find it. We find the texture. In this case, it's 8, 10, 0, and 0. We click on it, and you'll see in the inspector, wherever that window happens to be, if it's hopefully showing somewhere, we go under here where all these settings are. These basically the metadata import settings or whatever. These are the defaults. And what we want to do is change the texture type. I mean, I've done this already in another video, but might as well do it again here. Change it to, at least I change it to Sprite, 2D, and UI. And this, I don't know what it does, so I don't change it. These, I basically don't do anything over here. I generally turn off Generate Physics. Generate Physics generates a default physics shape from the outline of the sprite when a physics shape has not been set in the sprite editor. Huh. I might actually want to keep that checked now that I think about it. I always thought it did something else, but I don't know. I should probably keep that checked in this case, even if it doesn't do anything. An advanced. None of that. Alpha is transparent. This one, definitely check the read/write enabled, because depending on the thing, if this is not checked, then you will get like warnings and errors saying that your like texture can't be read or written or something, can't be read from. So make sure you do this, I would say. And generate bitmap. This one I also don't know exactly. I kind of know sort of what bitmap is, not really, but I don't check it, even if maybe I should in some cases. I don't know. Wrap mode, I don't touch that. Filter, change it from bilinear to point, no filter. I think this is one of the parts that makes it not blurry, so that's pretty important. And then when all that's done, you could do these compression types, but I don't mess with that. And then make sure that you click apply, and then wait for it to do its things. Being multiple before can be blah blah blah. Oh well, yeah, that's whatever. So now you will see that a little drop down came up near the texture that we were just clicked on that wasn't there before, and it will show us kind of the, I guess you could say, the attached like metadata thing, sort of, or maybe that's the like physics object thing that it was talking about. I don't know. Either way, you'll know that that you changed it right when something like this generates with the file then, or with the texture then. So yeah, we have that part done. Now the next part we need to do is to go to the top toolbar, find Daggerfall tools, go to mod builder, and in this case I have locked loop containers selected already as the open existing mod settings file. And I got all my things set here. Unique GUID and everything. Have all this stuff. Correct build location. And here's the important part. Hit the drop down here, and it'll show you what files are being imported, or yeah, what files are being imported by the mod in the end. So what we want... Oh wait, shit. I can still do this. So I'm gonna clear all assets, because I know what I want. I'm just gonna reselect them basically. So we want the new object we made, LLC object, locked loop containers main, and we will say add selected assets. And then we will go to our new texture, select that, and then add that to the assets as well. Even though I don't need the mod settings, I'm going to put them in there because eventually I will want these. So I'll just have it there for the sake of it. And now, at least as far as I know, we have all the assets we need imported into the mod. So when you've done that, you could move this drop down, you could deselect it, whatever, and then make sure you go down to save mod settings to file after you've done all that. Click it once, click it twice, click it 3 times if it makes you feel better, and then you can exit out of there. And now, when we actually launch the game, these this will be the virtual mod version that will be loaded into the mod like options thing. So it'll have the mod settings, the texture we just imported, and or whatever change imported, these 2 files. It'll have all those things, which is exactly what we want for it to have available to it. I don't have any errors as far as I know, so now that we did that, let us hit play. And I got a bunch of stuff open, so I have no idea how the performance will be and stuff on my faithful but fairly old computer with recording and everything, so yeah, we'll have to see. It usually takes a while for the first time you launch. And also the Unity editor, for me at least, it's slow as shit when it first launches. It takes, not slow in terms of like lagginess, but it just takes forever to do its importing crap. I'm not gonna mess with the Unity stuff, the sound options or whatever, so I don't think that's too loud. So we'll go down to mods, and I have a bunch of other mods here in virtual form. This I'll keep there, this... I'll keep... Here, let's turn off the background music, just because this is overbearing it. Physical combat, deselect that. Deselect that. And there's our mod in the virtual form. You'll know this because near the selected mod title up here where my arrow is, or where my cursor is, you'll see debug in parentheses near it. That makes you know that it is in a virtual form. You'll know it's in a built form. I don't know if I have any examples right now. Basically, you'll know it's in a quote-unquote built form in a proper DF mod file and put into the DF and put into the mods folder for that specific installation when that debug thing is not there. So it'll just be locked loop containers without this. Alright, so we know it's there. So it should be working. Just for my sake, let me clear the console, or the, what do you call it, the, Unity error thing, whatever it's called. I forget what that's called. But yeah, clear that so I could see what's going on. Now we'll hit play. And I'm not seeing any errors on the, here, I'll show it real quick. I'm not seeing any errors on the Unity console, so that is a good thing. Let's actually just check if we can find it where locked loop containers was registered or loaded. Useful console commands. Found new loader in it ini for mod locked loop containers. There we go. Started loading mod locked loop containers. And then it should say begin mod ini, finish mod ini. There it is, finish mod ini locked loop containers. Good. So far everything seems to be good. Clear the console, and let's go load a save of some sort. I don't know, we'll just load this one. Okay. Now that we are in game, oh yeah, I also have let me, oh, I'm gonna have to remember my keys or whatever. There we go. On this instead of that DOS Daggerfall. I have my running skill set to like 400 on this character. Why are my skills like that? I know I have my one mod running, or do I? I didn't have that running. What the hell's going on here? Weird. Weird. I think that might be a weird bug that happens maybe if you uninstall or you don't have a particular mod. I don't know. Whatever. Screw it, I'm not worried about it. Nobody's complained about it yet, so oh well. But yeah, I got my running set to 400 and stuff. But what was I gonna do? I'm gonna go to, well, first I'm gonna set PGM toggle god mode so I'm invincible. And I am going to travel to first, let me use the help. Which console command is that again? I think it's map reveal locations. Yeah, map reveal locations. Should reveal everything. There we go. Let's go to Veriton. That's an interesting name. Let's head out. Let's head to Veriton. Huge bonfire smolder, so that's definitely not a cemetery, as you know, as I could expect, but What else? Do I have a light on? Yes. Got a light. I'm gonna go in. Okay. Now that we're in a dungeon that is definitely not a cemetery type dungeon, we're going to... It's TCL, I think? Yeah, no clip. I would put on my own no clip method that I made. Um, Honestly, I probably should. Let's see, fast flying, like 10. Yeah, that's a lot better. Now, let's see if I could find any loot piles somewhere. Let's just kill everything because just annoying, making all their noises and shit. There we go. Here's a loot pile. That appears to be unaffected. Okay, so that's good. Let's do trans out to transition out of the dungeon. I'll just keep fast flying on. And now let's travel to a cemetery. The Garaham Cemetery. And see what the result is. Okay. So this is the normal part of the cemetery. Just to kill all. There's nothing in there. Oh. Ah. Ah! 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 It appears to have worked. At least right there it has. Now this is a pretty small cemetery, I think. And if there's only one loot pile... Alright, but that is our sprite, and it looks pretty good. Actually, like, scaled up pretty good and everything. Sweet. Now let's see what happens if I click on it. Alright, so it is still a loot container. It just has had its texture... Still the same loot container as far as I can tell. It's just has had its texture changed, or whatever its material, as it would be called. Now, let me trans out again. Let's go to a different cemetery, one that hopefully has more loot piles in it. And see if, see if it works for all of them instead of just one. Kill all. Oh yeah, I forgot. Open all doors. They usually have a secret doors in some of these, so... Alright. Oh, yeah! Now we are talking. We got 4 loot piles here that are changed. With that, let's trans out right now. Fast flying. Turn that off. And let's make a save here. Make it easier. Locked. Loot. Containers. Test 1. Test 1. God damn it. Delete that one. We got this one. Good. So fast flying 10. And of course everything respawns, but that's alright. Open all doors. Why was that necessary? It really wasn't. I thought this place had a secret door in it. Maybe it's another cemetery variant. Fast flying off. Alright, so we got 4 loot piles in here. One that has that. One that has this. Yeah, they all seem to be pretty functional and everything, as one would expect. But now... Actually, let's do one quick test here. Test 2. And let's hit the mic a little bit. Let's load this and then load 2 and then see if the texture or the material changing stuck. Sure it did, but I just want to see. It didn't. It did not. Alright, so that's good to know. So I'm gonna have to think about that later for I'm gonna have to think about that later for save data stuff, but I'm not too concerned about it right this moment. Alright, so kill all, open all doors. And here we are with our containers. Now with different stuff in them. What about the same... Does it? Does it? No, it doesn't. It has different images. Interesting. Randomized images. Alright, so now let's actually pause. Oh wait, can I... What's the way to do that? I forget. I shouldn't have to. I could just do it like this, I think. Oh, I forget. There's a button to pause the game without pausing like this, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. I'll figure it out when I need it. Alright, so now we are in the editor, the Unity editor view. And as you can see, the game is paused, and you'll see that these sprites, these billboard sprites, such as this bat corpse, and our loot piles here and stuff, as well as stuff like the torches and everything, they don't seem to follow the camera, and that's because they're not supposed to. They follow the player's camera, which right now, wherever I paused at, like right here or something, right now they're trying to direct their viewing direction at this location, basically this angle. So if we go around them, we'll see that they are in fact a 2D sprite, and that's why they disappear on the other side, since they don't have a back texture and everything. They're just a single texture on one side that's rotated around the player camera wherever they move. And it's the same deal with like enemies and stuff that yeah, it is the same deal with enemies and everything. But models, obviously, they're viewable at every angle, even if you're in the editor like this. Just a little bit of Unity editor info there. I am honestly very inexperienced overall with actually using like the Unity editor itself, rather than like the Daggerfall tools and the Daggerfall scripting stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of things I need to learn better with this. I'll keep the grid on because it's not too yeah, whatever, I'll just keep the grid on. But anyway, so what we wanted to do in the editor is actually click on one of these loot containers. Oh, look at that. Hey, why can't I move my camera? Weird. There's apparently a straight pixel there. Weird. Huh. Or if you could even see it, or if it's like a weird transparency picture or some shit. No, it's actually, yeah, that's, well, I mean, I'll just have to remember to fix that little pixel there. Huh. I don't know how I didn't see that. But yeah, so now over here in the hierarchy, we actually have the, what would this be? 19, 19. Those were different though. Or maybe I'm looking at the wrong ones. 1919. Both the same index, really? Strange. Strange. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe I'm just not understanding it or something, but it's a little bit interesting. Probably figure out how that works late at some other point. Right now, when we click on this, we will see some of the characteristics of the loot pile, I think. The actual, like, object. But if we click here, let's see. I'm guessing various characteristics weren't changed from this. Okay, no, yeah, okay, this makes sense. So the, like, original thing that the reason that this loot pile spawned in the first place, what was its origin of spawning was something called I guess a marker, like a, yeah, I guess it would be called like a marker. And in this case, it is all of the markers that Daggerfall has. Let's see if I can look at this. Yeah, it's all of the markers that Daggerfall has, and these are things you would find in like um if you're looking at the 3D map editor, I forget what it's called, the Daggerfall model viewer or whatever, you'll actually see these markers. And for some reason I can't really zoom into it right now, it seems, but they'll have stuff like rand, which will mean like a random enemy or something, entrance, exit. I might be able to see one actually if I go to the exit, I think. Where is it? Where is it? It is over here. No, maybe not. But yeah, that's the weird shit with the cemeteries. They have this like one room here behind the door. It's so weird, it's so strange. Is there an enemy in there actually? Doesn't look like it. But these markers are there to indicate for the game when it is generating the dungeon basically, or the interiors, what to put there, such as enemies in some cases, things like for ladders, where to, when you click a ladder, if it'll send you to the top of it or the bottom of it kind of deal. And also obviously including loot piles. It Oh, and yeah, quest markers, like where quest objectives are able to spawn and such, which there are none in cemeteries, but those are a thing. But these things spawn on those random treasure markers, which is texture 199, or archive number 199, and that is in record of their 19, which would be like random loot or something like that, or random treasure or something. So that's why that has that name, because that is actually what it is originally spawning from. But after the fact, there there is other things like this that get attached to this, which actually, like, make it look like how it is, as well as what it has inside of it. Limo is blocked by scripts. What does that do? Prefab mode. Yeah, I think I know why, but, I don't think I need to look in there anyway. But I believe this is actually the type of Daggerfall loot, this thing here, random treasure. Yeah, so this has yep. That's why these are different. So this one has Texture Archive 216. They all have Texture Archive 216 because that's where the loot pile textures come from, at least in this case. But they have different records, so they're different looking. If they weren't this thing right now, they would all be different looking. Just like when you look at the inventory, it has that little icon. That's what they would look like. So like this one is 20, 33, 46, 47, that sort of thing. So that's what determines what the container icon would be, or whatever you'd call it. And these are the, yeah, there you go. Duh, I didn't even look up there. The Daggerfall loot script. So this is the actual, like, parameters and fields and stuff of the loot pile in this case. And you can even see the items with a cool little, that's neat. You can actually see the little icon there. So like that one over there's got lich dust and gold pieces and stuff. Stock date, that's for like shop shelves. Is enemy class? No. Custom drop? No, in this case, but it would be later. Maybe custom drop would be if the player dropped it or something. Entity name, that would be for like a corpse container, I believe. Alright, so that's that part. Now, and the serialization, that's for like the save data and stuff. Sphere Collider. I don't know if I can't see that or if it just doesn't have one. But I'll probably have to know about that later. Now we got Billboard Mesh, which I guess is the thing that says basically turn towards the player camera or something like that. But I'm looking, So none of these other characteristics have changed, essentially. But down here in the Daggerfall Billboard script, which is the similar to Daggerfall Loot as a type, the Daggerfall Billboard, as we saw, is also a type, but it is attached to these loot containers in a similar way. But so what we did when we changed the material, whatever it was called, in the Daggerfall Billboard, is that all these other characteristics up here, for these other aspects, like in Daggerfall Loot itself, they're still the same for what that loot object or whatever was when it originally was spawned. So when we loot, when we actually look in the inventory of one of these loot objects, like the item collection wasn't changed or anything, as well as the icon at the top wasn't changed at all because we didn't change that. It's still the same, even though in the world, the actual texture is now different because we changed it in this Daggerfall Billboard script, which basically is saying that, hey, Daggerfall Billboard, this type, is what determines what it will look like on the outside world. On the world that your character is looking at, but in GUI stuff, it will look like this in the loot menu. The, this archive 216 and then texture record 20 and such. But down here, we changed we only changed basically anything to what it looks like, which we should have assumed, obviously, what it looks like on the outside world, and which it does, and it reflects that right now, since we have this script, whatever you want to call it, this type Daggerfall billboard, custom, like I guess that's the original archive that it's using. Set texture archive index. That's the original archive it's using. But this is the new one. Interestingly enough, is what ours is, the 810. And that doesn't have as much info in it as I expected, but we didn't really change that much, I guess. We just gave it that texture, essentially. But then if we go down to Daggerfall billboard, here, whatever this would be called, we see the R image, obviously, and whatever other characteristics are attached to it, which we didn't do anything different for it. So yeah, that makes sense. That's why we could see it here, but these other characteristics did not change. But this is also the reason, I mean, we didn't do any tests yet, but we don't see any custom activator, custom activation things attached to this, like action, objects or scripts, whatever, like Daggerfall action, whatever it's called. We don't see any of those because I believe the case is that the actual, like, archive thing doesn't have the it's not our texture. Our texture, all it's changing is the actual rendered, like what you're seeing in the outside world, but the actual, like, identity of it is still something else. So say if we registered a custom activation for archive 216 texture record 20, it potentially it would likely do something. But since ours is 810, it is not this right now. So we will likely have to not just change this, obviously, the rendered on the outside world thing. We will have to change the loot, Daggerfall loot aspects of it, like up here. That's my guess. Oh crap! I didn't mean to change that. Ah, doesn't matter. I don't think it does. But we're gonna have to change something here to make the registered custom activation thing work, I believe. Either here or here somehow. But let's first check before we jump to assumptions. Let us go back, let us unpause and go back into play mode. We're actually, like, playing the game, whatever. And let's trans out. Unfortunately, doing that changed the font color of the the console, but whatever. Let's check out some other random dungeon and see if we can find a activator object. And look at that, just for reference. This might be good. Let's see, fast flying. Oh, whoa, whoa, I don't want to be that fast. Perhaps fast flying 10, perhaps. That'll work better. Yeah. There is some object here for sure that is an action object. I'm just not certain which one. Let's see. Oh, let's go back into pause mode, I think. Oh, crap. Where am I? If I want to find where I was, I go to, where is it? Dungeon, Game Manager, Player Advanced. Player Advanced, I believe, is the actual. Yeah, there we are. So we were right there. Now let's see if one, I'm pretty sure at least one of these objects is has an action attached to it. Aha. Yes. So this 3D model, when clicked on, has a Daggerfall action attached to it. So the fact that we didn't see that on the chests tells us right away that yes, the custom action registration did not work. At least not in that case that we just did, where we changed the outside texture and stuff. Otherwise, when we clicked on that thing, we should have seen one of these, this component, whatever you want to call it, Daggerfall action. And in this case, this one is for teleport of some kind. But we will definitely be having to use this in some way later on for what we want to do. But with that, let us unpause now that we know that. And turn off fast flying. And see what this does. What happened? Supposed to teleport us? Eh, something changed. Daggerfall mesh. Maybe it is a place that you teleport to instead of teleport from, maybe. So let's try up here instead, because I feel like that's possibly more likely. I wish I knew these blocks a little bit better. One of something in here. Maybe I could see it from the editor view. So let's click on that. Where action, which they would all be attached to something like this. Action models. Interesting. So yeah, like these, so those are perhaps different. Yeah, this is what that stuff looks like under the ground before it gets raised up whenever you do something like hit one of these levers. So maybe those aren't the ones I'm looking for exactly. And maybe it'd be under something else instead of models, probably. Probably flats. Yeah, it'd probably be somewhere under the flats more than likely. But now, which one would actually have? That's treasure. Treasure. Now, which one would have an action attached to it? I don't know. If any. That might have something. Cool. I never even like looked at those roots, but they're kind of neat. Ah, do that. These torches. Those are all the enemies' bodies. So action models. Give me a lever. Because action models are almost definitely different than stuff like activators for stuff like a chain. Okay, screw this. Let's go to a different dungeon. This one is not giving us what we want. Friend. We want one that has that's sad because that one normally has like obvious like a chain or something that you could click on that gives you a spell effect or something. Now let's see if this one gives us anything more useful in that sense. This one is quite a bit bigger of a dungeon, or at least a bit more abstract. Now, let's see if I can... I don't know how I can make the lights not a factor so I could, like, just see everything perfectly. I think if I go into the editor... Oh, that's cool. Like, secret loot room there, I like that. Here, let's, pause this, I think. Yeah, like this. This is better. So let's look around and see if we can find a block that I'm more familiar with. Or whatever, a module that I'm more familiar with that might have one of those kind of action objects I'm trying to look for. Wow. It's like whole areas underwater. Don't recall that one. Fortunately, this one I'm not seeing too much. I'm seeing a lot of familiar blocks, but ones I'm not familiar with that have action objects attached in them that I'm looking for. And they're not like vertical enough to have stuff like that generally, it looks like. So it looks like we're gonna have to check another. Which is fine. This is honestly kind of always fun to do. Just the what do you call it? Fast flying. Wait, yeah, that's a bit better. It's always fun to just explore the random dungeons and stuff like this. Especially in the editor. And you can see everything. It's like, ooh, that's neat. Kill all. Ooh. This is a fairly big place. Alright, back to the editor view because... Oh, whoops. Pause. Now, let's... is this the same place, or is this is different? Excuse me. Oh, man. Excuse me again. Alright, so camera. That's where we're at. Doesn't particularly matter. That looks promising. I see a pit. Usually a pit has something, but maybe not in this case. Like a levitate object or something. Oh wow, another one of these? Damn. I love the water blocks. People may despise them because of how dangerous they can be and likelihood of you drowning and stuff, but I really do like them. I like them. Uh, I'm sure there's so many that are actually in here, but I'm just not, like I said, familiar with which ones might be which and where they could be for everyone. Just a few of them, so yeah. In this case, it's another dud for me. Another dud for me. You know what? I'm being stupid. Let's just go to Privateer's Hold. Um, trans, out. Let's go to Privateer's Hold. Because we know, at least I know 100% where one is. It's, at least one, that skull that opens the, that little doorway. Oh, great fog. Kill all. But, I guess I spelled it wrong. There we go. Let's see if we can find it. Oh man, it's so hard when it's so dark and everything, but follow the normal path over here. Hello. Now, back into the editor view, or whatever you want to call it. Go to, there it is, camera. And here we are. One of these is an action object, or at least it should be. Which one is it? Huh? Weird. Alright, maybe I'm just dumb. Let's click one. Ah! Let's click one without fast flying and see which one does what we want it to do. Is it this one? This one. This one? This one? This one? Or maybe not, none of them? Maybe I've been mistaken and it's actually the bench here. Yeah, it is. Alright, well that's good. That's good, but I think that just means there's another action, mesh? Whatever the hell they called it. Go back. Yeah, I forgot it was that bench. I thought it was one of the skulls. This is a action model or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's an action model. What are the other ones? That one, the one that moves. This one's attached to that. There's a lever. Where's the lever? Oh yeah, that lever. And then probably interesting that those aren't just the two pieces together. Okay, so Privateer's Hold doesn't have an action object like I was thinking, unfortunately. Alright, let's check another one. So, I'm most likely, since this has almost gone on for an hour, I'm most likely not gonna really be doing any code here, because, this has gone on quite a long time, but I want to find an action object. At the very least, this will be very useful for me to know when I actually, start changing the characteristics in code. Yes. This one. But I start changing the characteristics in code to hopefully make it work more to what I'm expecting, not just changing the outside exterior texture of that, the loot piles and stuff. But for today, I'm just basically doing this, and then if I need to usefully enough, I could just rewatch this and be like, oh, so that's what it happened. That's what it looked like. But that's really nice. Alright, so this dungeon I actually did in my Let's Play yesterday or something. Yeah. And I know 100% right from the get-go, there is a activation object, yeah, which gives you slow fall, or at least it should give you slow fall. Open the door. And, this thing, makes this move. But, oh shit. This is what we want. In fact, speaking of which, let's actually make a save here, why don't we? You know what, let's just save over 2, because... No, actually, no. Let's make... No! Actually, yes, save here. Alright, so pause. Do that. Go to the player at camera. And here we are. This. Now let's see what is different about it. If anything. Yes. It does have a action type script component attached to it, as one would expect, but yes. So in this case, it has cast spell onto the player. Or if it says what, I guess the index is probably 37, which is, I would assume, is slow fall, if it's not broken. Action enabled? I think that's... Let's see if, when we click it... Then, yeah, we have slow fall. Now let's see if that toggled to something else. No, it didn't. I don't know what that's for then. Maybe that's just for ones that do like rotation, like a lever and stuff like that, that actually move something else. Let's check. We have this one. This wheel. It doesn't seem like it. So yeah, I'm not sure what that action-enabled bool value is for. Sure, we'll figure out later, but yeah. But yeah, anyway. That is basically what I wanted to do this thing. I was hoping to do some code, but clearly it's taken way longer doing this than I was expecting. And then you can't activate it again. I think it has a cooldown, but in DOS it seems to be broken or some shit. I don't know. It's weird. Jeez. That's, yeah. That's the crouch button I have. There we go, C. But yeah, that's all I wanted to really show in this thing, but I actually think it was extremely useful and hopefully useful to... Definitely going to be useful to myself when I go back to this to rewatch it if I need to, for reference, and hopefully for other people as well. I didn't know there was a... Oh, this is just for the elevator. Just coming right at me. Oh shit. Let's see what happens. Probably nothing, but... I think we just get pushed through. Yes, nice. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to show in this case. Um, Now if you press the play button again, it'll close the game. But at least that thing worked. It replaced the material, which is what one of the primary things we wanted. I will close out of Unity now. And we also learned a whole bunch of stuff through the Unity editor, looking at those objects and things to see kind of what we have to do next, or what we most likely will want to do next, um, to actually get the thing working like we kind of expect it to. So we got the set material here, and we're probably gonna have to do some stuff where we like change things around. I'll probably be playing around with other action registering action objects. My guess is that I'm going to need to like change the actual loot piles. It's the texture archive and then its record, instead of to what it originally started as, but change it to ours. That's my guess, but then I'm not sure if it'll actually like automatically instantaneously cause those to change and have an action object attached to them or whatever. But we'll have to do that in the next part, hopefully. But this has gone on long enough, but I'm happy with the information that I've gleaned from this, and hopefully information I've conveyed. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.